Once again, we're being joined here by Laura Rutledge of ESPN, host of NFL Live and the SEC Network. And real quick, let's go back to around sports return. I know it's been a lot of edginess right now and concerns. I just tend to seem to think right now, sports are going to find a way to get back and finish. Unfortunately, the way I look at this whole coronavirus thing, it's kind of like triggering an alarm. Unfortunately, you're going to see some hiccups every now and then, and people are going to have to get used to being self-quarantined. But what would you say, without doubt, among the sports that are coming back? We already know we got Major League Baseball coming back on either July 23rd or the 24th, the next 2 weeks. NBA on the 30th, and the playoffs will begin on the 17th of August once they get the 16 seeding set up. And I think the smartest one is the NHL. I like the fact that they're expanding the playoffs, but they're still having the poorest teams fighting to get in. With that being said, is NBA still the undisputed king right now, especially with Commissioner Adam Silver getting back? Or do you tend to like someone like a hockey or maybe baseball, for that matter, as a return?
Yeah, baseball seemed like the sport that would be the easiest to bring back because you could play an entire baseball game without touching anybody. and that's not the case for all these other sports. Golf is obviously a little bit different too, but with all the complication between the Players Union and Major League Baseball and the owners and all of that, the owners just completely botched the whole thing early on. I'm happy that there will be a Major League Baseball season, but that one just feels like something's going to go wrong just because things went wrong ahead of time. And maybe that's not fair to say, but that's just sort of how I feel about it. I think the NBA has the most chance to succeed right now just because of the bubble environment. And look, I mean, in order to even get on a court to play, you're going to have to pass so many coronavirus tests and temperature checks and all of these things it does feel very safe to me. They're very strict about the guidelines, very strict about the bubble, which is why you do see some players opting out and saying, well, wait a second, either I don't feel comfortable or I don't really want to follow all those guidelines. And I get that. Some people don't want to do all of that. Look, as it relates to football, I think the NFL will have their season, and you cannot create a bubble in football. It's just too large of a group of people. And so the way that Major League Baseball and the NBA come back, and NHL to an extent, is really going to, I think, shade the way that we look at what happens with the NFL, but also understanding that it is such a larger group and you just can't control it the same way that you can some of these smaller groups. So that's interesting. And then there's college football that's kind of its whole other beast that's going to be difficult to figure out. And you already saw the Big Ten come out and say that they're only going to play in conference. I think you won't – I don't know that we'll all of a sudden see every other Power 5 conference come out and start saying that. I think they'll wait and see. A lot of them will wait and see, get closer to the time before they make a decision. But either way, there's a lot of business. There's a lot of money involved with all of these sports, and our economy is important, but people's health and safety is also important too. So I certainly, and the most important, by the way, so I certainly don't envy these decision makers in all of these different sports trying to figure out how to do this to the best of their ability.
All right, I also got a topic I usually bring up towards the end of my show. I just got a few more things I just want to go over with you real quickly. Back as it relates to football right now, fair or foul right now, Bill Belichick will win a Super Bowl before Tom Brady and Bruce Arians does.
Oh my goodness, this one is so hard. I actually think that Tom Brady will win a Super Bowl with Bruce Arians before Bill Belichick does again. I really think it's going to happen. I'm not saying this year, I love the weapons that Tampa Bay has. I love the idea of pairing up Brady with Bruce Arians and Tom Brady just getting to do whatever he wants to do. I realize he doesn't have that much more time left in his career to win, so it's got to be here in the next couple seasons. But I love the feel of what's going on in Tampa and how well I think that'll work for Brady and Arians just kind of staying out of the way and letting Tom be the GOAT that he is. And I think that'll end up working out pretty well for him.
I'll probably disagree. I don't know if we'll see either, but maybe still slightly with Belichick. Considering the fact you work with Parcells, you work with guys like Lawrence Taylor. I mean, he even coached the Browns to a playoff spot one time. He's like the Joe Torre of coaching. And then also what we do with Tom Brady.
So listen, when you've got Cam Newton, and I think he's a lot healthier than people realize, you might be in a better position than some people think. So I can argue both sides of that. for sure.
I just feel like Belichick, he's got the psychological game. He's a great sales
So
guy. He knows how to
you
connect
think
with a lot
that
of players.
the greatness of Brady and Belichick is more Belichick than Brady?
Slightly. I think just all by work. I mean, you come from like the Giants. You went off on your own without Parcells, like coaching the Browns for a little bit. You had to bring the guys in, whereas with Parcells' team or your own guys later on, you still had to build a team around there, the continuity right there. I mean, he almost made the playoffs that 1 year with Matt Castle when he got his knee injured, and plus he
True.
went 3-1 in 2016. And Brady can't really say the same thing without Belichick. I just think Belichick still continues to prove to be that low evil genius at the end of the day. I'm just saying there is a reason why he connects. I get it, but at the same time, there's going to be like a case like a Mike Dick, a Buddy Ryan. We can't do one without the other.
It's going to be interesting because the Patriots are a much older team now. They need to really kind of like clean house and bring in some good players to be around Cam Newton. But it's going to be fascinating to watch.
You're just getting more lumber on the fire for Belichick right there by just saying older right there. You know that, right? And Brady.
Also, really quickly, if the Bills don't win in that division this year when Brady's gone, like what are the Bills doing? They've got to win now. They've got to get it done. So Josh Allen, now is your time.
Well, here's a fun topic I want to close you on. I've been asking a lot of people this, and I've been having fun with this. I know we always talk like in sports, like fantasy matchups, like sports, athletes, whatever. But let's flip it. Since we're on the broadcast field, I want to hear your perspective. If you had to watch like a team in whatever sport you want to choose, a game at stakes where it's something for a playoff or a championship, what network would it be on? Who'd be your announcing crew? I want to know who you'd be your play-by-play announcer, your Carl Ellis. Would you have one more color, Ellis, to make it a three-man booth? Who'd be your sideline reporter? And who would be your host for your pre- and post-game studio analyst? Minimum 4 people for that.
Okay, so it would be on ESPN, duh. I would have my play-by-play would be Joe Tessitore, huge fan of his. My color I would have a 2-man booth. I would have Kirk Herbstreit up there.
Right.
One of the best, if not the best, at analyzing games real time and teaching as he does it. I think he's fantastic. Sideline reporter, I would choose Holly Rowe. She is the GOAT of sideline reporting, and so good. And sometimes we have 2 sideline reporters. So on the other side, I would put Michelle Tafoya because I think that she is fantastic, and she's one of my favorite to watch. And every time I watch her, I learn something from her. And I love her style. I love how she conducts interviews too. So Holly the GOAT and Michelle Tafoya, even though you said I can only have one sideline reporter, but I'm biased toward reporters, so I put 2.
I mean, if you want to have one more, that's fine. I mean, we see it like in big levels, so if you want to go for it, please do.
Right. It's a big game. You said it was a big game, so we got 2 reporters. My host of my show would be Maria Taylor. She would be hosting the pre and the post game show ahead of the broadcast. I would put Marcus Spears on the desk. I would put Dan Orlovsky, and I would put Mina Kimes, which is basically the cast of NFL Live, by the way. Hint, hint. And I would also put Keyshawn Johnson on there too, on my set as the best of the best. And I realized that I probably only picked ESPN people, which is probably a foul in this, but I really was unbiased. I did put Michelle Tafoya in there, and she works for NBC. So that would be my broadcast crew for this big championship game on ESPN.
Me, I have to go back. I'm a football guy since like high school and like out of grammar school. And I like the fact that we're seeing little by little ABC Sports come back into the fold. I would like to see them come back at some point. If they do, and they put them back in prime time, I got to have Al Michaels, my guy. He is Mr. ABC right there. He's earned that.
Love Al Michaels.
And give me John Madden and Dan Dierdorf, who I've become a fan of. So Al Michaels, John Madden, Dan Dierdorf.
Nice.
That's an announcing crew. Pam Oliver would be my silent reporter I throw to. And then for the studio analyst, I mean, since I got my Steeler polo on, but I'm going to go James Brown. I like James Brown. I got a real affiliation. Appreciate how he's hosted. Especially all those years at Fox 41 CBS. Give me Bill Cowers, really impressed me as an analyst coming out of coaching, and congratulations him going to Hall of Fame. Michael the Playmaker Irvin, and Howie Long.
I love it. The Playmaker is one of the best TV personalities. I know not everybody agrees with what he says, but he is so fun to watch on television. And the amount of time, the times when I've hosted First Take, when he's been on with Stephen A, are some of the funniest TV appearances that I've ever had. I'm literally sitting there the whole time. I'm hoping that the camera doesn't come on to me because I'm laughing because they're spitting on each other. They're fighting so hard, and he's like sweating and all that. So I love it. Great. That would also be a great broadcast team.
No doubt about it. I still miss him back in the days before he went to ESPN. I remember where he started off in the beginning, Best Damn Sports Show, period. I don't know if you remember that one. That was on early 2000s right there. But anyway, just wanted to say thank you once again, Laura, for joining me here. Smash Show Podcast. Thank you very much for a little bit of your extended time here. Once again, you can follow her on Twitter and Instagram. Twitter at Laura Rutledge, Instagram at Laura M. Rutledge. Make sure to tune in the ESPN, the ESPN Plus app. You see them on YouTube, a lot of their content right there. And I can't wait to see the new football lineup, though. Marcus Spears, I think, is one of the biggest difference makers, along with Mia Kimes. And they're, I think, right there. They could knock that thing out of the park with you.
Awesome. Yeah, no, everybody tune in, and we can't wait. And it's been great talking to you. Thanks for having me.
Likewise. Hey, congratulations on your first year of motherhood, everything with the daughter. Hope everything's going well with the family. And just want to wish you continued success down the road. Thank you very much. Hopefully we can do this again and get in touch somehow.
Yes, you know how to find me. So whenever you want, just let me know.
All right. Well, Laura, once again, have a great rest of your Friday. Enjoy the weekend, and best of luck to you and everybody at ESPN. Keep up the great work. You have a great one.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Likewise. And once again, that was Laura Rutledge of the new host of NFL Live on ESPN right there. You can check her out. Like I said, just plugged her social media handles right there. You can follow her, once again, in case anyone missed it, at Laura Rutledge on Twitter, at Laura M. Rutledge on Instagram right now. And I think that was some good stuff right there. I mean, just to get into as we take a look at it right now. And like I said, it's been really like a little bit of an interesting debate right now, like with the sports world, how things are going to be pulled off right now. But at the same time, I truly believe this is going to work somehow. I mean, like I said, I mean, we're learning more about this virus and how it can get into people's bloodstream. But my only retort to that is just that there's a lot of things at stake, a lot of things on the table, a lot of money and stuff that affect future CBAs with that. And especially like the NBA right now, the players who I think right now, they got a fair, decent split right now of the revenue. I think they break in a little bit more of the revenue in that regard. But anyway, I just feel that was great having Laura on here for that time. And like I said, let's get back into like the Patrick Mahomes contract real quick. A little bit more details, as just mentioned here a few moments ago. And Albert Breer of ESPN, Sports Illustrated, he wanted to explain like some of the guarantees in Patrick Mahomes' contract. So if the Chiefs cut Mahomes today, his cap number would jump from $2.8 million to $63 million. On the third day of the 2021 league year, in March, Kansas City could write Mahomes a check for $52.25 million, get out of the deal. If they go forward with it, an additional $40.45 million becomes fully guaranteed. Then, of course, the following season, 2022, the third day of that league year, the Chiefs could pay Mahomes $70 million to get out of the deal. They would have to still owe him $38 million, which would become fully guaranteed. The following year, in 2023, Chiefs could pay Mahomes $78.4 million to get out of the deal. They go forward, another $38.9 million becomes fully guaranteed. And then, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So basically right here, even like the last scenario, like if he was on a team that March on the third day of the 2027 league year, they'll be paying him a $49.4 million roster bonus separate from the $55 million guarantee, in which essence locks in a $250 million guarantee. And you look at everything right now. I mean, just to have $141.5 million injury guarantee with no trade clause, still 2 years remaining on his current deal. First 3 years are fully guaranteed, and the first 5 years are injury guaranteed. And like I was saying on Laura's Instagram, her Twitter tweet last night, she was asking if anyone feels that Patrick Mahomes could play out his contract for 2031. I'm a little skeptical, to be honest with you. I gotta say, I just feel like right now, when you look at it, I'm not sure if that's like totally possible. I just feel right now when you look at it, my thing is we don't know how, this knee injury, is this going to be something that's going to be reoccurring? Is this going to pop back up? So I think last year the Chiefs did get very lucky of only having Patrick Mahomes just miss a few games. But at the same time, too, look what happened. You're on the cover of Man that year, and you're still able to overcome all the odds and still will your team to a first-round bye, overcome multiple double-digit deficits in the playoffs, and still win a Super Bowl. By those standards, definitely say there was no – he broke the curse that year by winning the Super Bowl and still able to finish out the season. My only concern is when this injury came out, this was something that was first being reported as something like, hey, this is something we got to be careful. This is something will pop back up again in the future. And I just get a little concerned. I just don't want to be counting chickens before they're hatched. I think he's a great guy, but at the same time, too, can we really honestly say that he's going to finally he's going to survive all those years, especially in the demanding sport that he's in? He's definitely got a lot of willpower right there. But, at the same time, I'm not sure about going unscathed. And I just feel what we got to do, we got to just take it one moment at a time. Obviously, Andy Reid, we don't know how much longer he's going to be coaching with the Chiefs. If he's going to be calling a few more seasons, you got to believe he's going to be around that organization somehow as an advisory role or monitoring things. But, again, I just feel like still rolling the dice just a little bit and see how things work out. But anyway, that's going to do it for this edition here of the Mass Steel Podcast. I just wanted to say thank you very much once again to Laura Rutledge coming on here on the Mass Steel Podcast. It was a great talk to her, and I'll definitely love to welcome you back on here again in the future. But anyway, once again, you guys can follow me on my social media. You can follow me on Twitter at Prodigy Richey, at OnDeckCSR. And for the Mass Steel Podcast, on Twitter is at MassSteelCGR and at MassSteelNation on Instagram. As always, leave you. Don't be trolling, be rolling. I gone.